Hey Beans, I'm back with another installment. This is a shorty of our virtual or video recipe book here. And this one's going to be around rice. And this is if you do not have a rice cooker or anything, and cooking in a rice cooker is totally different. You end up washing the rice and then you basically just set it and it gets done within an hour. This is a quicker way of doing rice. I mean, it should be done in 20-ish minutes or so, and it's the stovetop version. And so for this, I'm just using long grain rice. I mean, it's more or less the same whether you're using, well, I might be using jasmine. I can't remember what I've got. But it's basically the same whether it's basmati, long grain, or jasmine. Should all work the same. Obviously, brown rice and things like short grain rice don't work the same. So the big thing is the ratio here. So I've got, how I do this is I'll switch the video around. So I have my pot here that's been preheating, and I'm going to throw a little bit of olive oil in there, and I'm going to throw my rice in right away here. So my whole deal here is we're basically kind of like cooking the rice up, heating the rice up. Then I always add boiling water or hot water. And so I've got the loudest electric kettle known to man in this room, and that's going to boil the water here. So we're just wanting to toast this rice up, and let me see if I can get in close. You'll see when it gets toasted, it kind of becomes a little more opaque, right? It's kind of translucent there now, and you can see some of the stuff on the side. So olive oil's fine. I'm using nicer olive oil than I should because that's just what I have right now. And the important thing here is the ratio. So I use 1 cup of rice, and what I have found to be the best ratio is 1 cup of rice to 1 3/4 cup of water. Okay, so that's, if I break that down to like a proper ratio, it's like a 4-to-7 ratio. So we've got our rice heating up, water just boiled. And once you feel like this is, I want to feel like the rice is warmed through. So if we do the math, 1 cup of rice, 250 mils divided by 4 is 62 some times 7. It's 420-ish. So doesn't need to be totally exact. When we pour the water in, it's going to generally do that. So I just pour a bit of the water in, or else that will kind of fly all over the place. Now pour the rest of the water in. I turned it down. I was on medium, just a little bit over midway to start with for doing the rice. So now I've turned it down to around 2 or 3, and boom, see that's a simmer. And then throw the lid on, and then we're not going to touch it. So these transparent lids, or the glass lids, are my favorite for cooking rice because you can kind of monitor what's going on. You want the steam and everything. Yeah, there's a little steam escape valve on there, but you want everything in the heat to kind of stay contained in, so you don't want to lift that lid until you really have to. So I will come back. This will probably be about 10 minutes or so. And you can see in there, it's still kind of that slow simmer. You don't want it rapid boiling. So I've got to turn back down to 2-3 level. And then we'll come back and check on it and show you how it's done. Okay, we're back. So I just try to give that a little spin so I can see what's going on the inside of the pot, but for the sake of this, I'm going to remove it. So you can see how the rice is, and I'm going to tip that up And if I don't see any liquid there, there's a little bit just pooling, but that's not very much. So now I'm going to take this off the stove, set it off the heat, and just leave it to steam and set. Turn off the heat in the burner and just leave that to steam and set for probably another 15 or so minutes. So that was probably only on 10 minutes, but I'll leave it 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, back after a little bit of rest for this. So you can do this in advance. I'm gonna put the camera down there. And then once that sits for a while, the big thing is you just wanna fluff it up a little bit. And there's a lot of steam that's coming off it still, right? So you wanna you can fluff that up, throw that back on and keep it warm if you're serving it later. So you can do this like well in advance of when you're serving. If you wanna chill this down for fried rice or for leftovers or whatever, it's best to get this on like cooled down quickly. So what I'm going to do here, because I'm not eating this tonight, is I'm going to spread this on a sheet pan and then pop it in the freezer for 10 minutes. So boom, you can see quite a bit of starch in there, and I think there's some reasons of what of the potential for bacterial growth or something like that in rice. So I'm gonna spread it on the sheet pan, throw it in the freezer, and try to get it down through kind of these danger zones as quick as possible. But otherwise, you can just let it sit there with the cover on, and you're good to go. So there's my quick stovetop rice. I can't remember what I'm calling this again. Video recipe book. See you soon.